Ba-da-ba-da-bum-ba-bum-ba-bum. Object source lighting. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-ba-bum-ba-bum. Object source lighting. Please stand by. Painting Vader with a lightsaber glowing red. Make it dead. Gonna go, go, go. Ba-da-dun-dun-dun. Oh man, I was on the wrong one again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the Atomic Mass Games Mini-stravaganza. Hopefully you've been having a great day. I'm back again. Hopefully you just watched the X-Wing 101, which was a lot of fun for me. I've actually never played X-Wing, so that was really good for me, and I might need to paint up some TIE fighters now. This is going to be the secrets of OSL, and I'm going to kick this over to the mini cam very, very shortly to get started. I've got a Vader here. This Vader is completely painted except for his red glow. So I'm going to paint the lightsaber, but the big thing I want to do is I want to paint the red glow on the helmet and the cape and stuff like that to really make my Darth Vader pop and be super, super cool. So we're going to use, I got 6 colors out on the palette. I've got a warm orange. I've got a really, really bright orange. I've got a fire truck red. I got a canary yellow. I got the hiccups. That's what I got. Gotta take a breath. I got a titanium white and I got an off-white. So I'm going to use just those 6 colors. I might not even use all 6. We'll see what we can do with this. But I'm going to get some really cool object source lighting OSL on our Darth Vader. And here we go. Kick it over to the mini cam because that's the one that matters to me. Boop. So as you can see, I got Darth Vader. He's all painted up. I got his little control box all done. The black, I used blue to highlight my black. I used grays on the cape to make differential blacks, stuff like that. The soft leathers are all grays, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to slide this light down a little bit more. And the goal here is we're going to take our Vader. You can see here, once again, this is done with the blues and the grays. But then as you turn him, we're going to get that lightsaber glow on our Vader. I like to do a bunch of weird stuff. I like to put little dots of reflections, kind of like imperfections. Or embers. I imagine them like representing like embers flying through the air. Be really, really cool. So we're going to do the same thing here. Hopefully hang out and let's learn something. Alright, the very first thing I'm going to start with. Need some brushes. I'm going to use 2 brushes. I'm going to use some 2-brush blending. If you haven't learned this, that's okay. You're going to watch me and who knows, maybe you'll learn how to do it. And if not, that's okay. It's a practice thing. I'm going to mix a little black in with my bright fire truck red first. We're putting a little black in there. Maybe a tiny bit of blue in there. In with fire truck red. I didn't mention the black earlier. That's my fault. And the reason I'm doing this is I want something very, very dark red to start. It's going over black, so I don't want to start with like a really punchy red. I'm going to put that right on the edge of the helmet. I'm going to drag that out, create a nice smooth blend like that. Go down here on the back side. Now if I was painting this for a competition, I would be really, really particular about where I was going to put this. I'm not going to be so picky. This is the reason I'm doing the helmet first, not the lightsaber. It's because I knew I would bump it. I just knew it, that would happen. But I just want to establish like some places that is going to be red, and this is just going to be sort of near where the saber is. I don't need it to be the perfect example of object source lighting ever. I just want something that looks pretty darn cool. So I'm going to think about the light and where it's going to go. The light's coming down from that saber. Let's put a little bit there on that glove. Maybe a little bit there on that sleeve. Kick up the red just a little bit. If you have any questions, ask away. I love answering questions. We're just hanging out here, painting, having a good time. So I love the shape of Vader's helmet. Let's thin that paint down. He's got this nice bell shape. I'm actually going to put another blend along that ridge. And I'm going to accentuate that shape as we go. If it gets a little off kilter, it's okay. Use that second brush to create that nice line. Alright, we're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to grab some of that yellows and oranges, mix them together, grab some of that fire truck red. We're going to start brightening this up. Once again, we're going to start right there. See, just that very first step, that little bit of orange kicks it over. Vibro swords when painting. I have not painted a vibro sword. So I have to look at them. I like looking at reference. So I'd have to look at some reference. We're going to use this orange. We're going to stretch it out across that shoulder nice and thin. Once again, nice and thin. Just stretch it out, creating that translucency. That way you can see a little bit of blue and black. Yeah, imagine that little ridge on that helmet's going to catch a little bit of light. See that weird blend there? We're going to let that linger. Sometimes I want to go back and I want to look at what I did. Think about it. Think about how I approached that before. I'll put some little light reflections down here. Now the further away from the source of light, and of course the source of light is going to be the lightsaber, the further away, the less bright it's going to be. So as we move down the miniature, we're going to remove, as we take down steps, we're going to stop going down the miniature. So like once we start moving in the yellows won't travel down the miniature. Yeah, this is very thin paint. This is typically how I paint anyways. Very thin. So I like painting very thin for lots of reasons. One of them, it gives me a lot of control. Never once have I clogged up details. That second brush is damp, so I can really stretch that paint out when I do this. That should really come up that back a little further. If that line's not perfect, we can go back, we can fix it. We may do it, we may not. We might just let the line be imperfect. I always say, the universe isn't perfect, why should I gotta be? Alright. It's pretty good. Maybe put a little bit on this edge of this box. His chest. Maybe kick up that mask one more time, right on that one edge. Apparently his knuckles are getting it. I don't think technically, but you know, why not? What the heck, right? I don't think technically the light would come back to the hand, but sometimes you just gotta do something really, really fun. Really cool when it's for tabletop. Alright, let's get into some like really yellow oranges. This part, this is my favorite. I mean, I'm gonna add a little extender. Just a touch. And I want to go right here, right where that saber is really, really close to the helmet. Boy, I can't stop putting them knuckles. Terrible. Right up here on the shoulder. This is a layer where I like getting real weird with the lines. I like them to be a little jagged and very imperfect. The idea here is that you're slowly building in that color. You don't want to just fire it off and go in there hot yellow. You want to kind of build it up. You want to build it up. You want to see a little bit of that original color under there. And as we get closer and closer to the saber, you lose more and more of that color. So you're building it up in layers. You're slowly progressing through the color. Maybe we just put a little line there. Why not? Just a little yellow hidden there and there. Am I gonna paint the saber? You know what? I got 45 minutes to do all this OSL. If we can get to the saber, we'll do the saber. Let's go on this side. That extender helps that paint stay really, really dry, or wet, really dry. Like I said, I love that shape of that helmet. So iconic. So using this light to kind of accentuate is always a lot of fun. Let's grab some canary yellow, mix it in there. We're going to kick it up another time. We're going to reserve this right to the edge. Now this is where the fun starts. So like I said, I like to do like little ticks and like stings and dots and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun for me. And when you practice this, why am I putting yellow? There's a reason, and you know, I'm burying the lead. How's that? Like, there's a reason. So let's start adding some imperfections. Little dots and glistens, and we can kick up. We can add a little white to this. Once again, that tight edge. Maybe just the very corners. Of the cheeks here, just to really make those pop. Just some little white dots here and there. I agree. I love the Vader with those just subtle red eyes. This is my second Vader, and I just had to put those red lenses in there. Don't forget the bottom side over here, right up against that saber. Like I said, I like putting in like weird little shapes and dots and pokes everywhere. Maybe we need a little bit more down here. Let's make it more dramatic. Doesn't gotta be accurate. It's just gotta be dramatic. It's gotta look cool. Little blushy Vader cheeks, yeah. Yeah. If we want to do something really fun, maybe do some bounce light from the ground. So kind of blend glaze that. How's that look? I think we want to kick this shoulder and arm a little bit more. Why not? I don't know if I'd call this two-brush blending exactly. I'm using two brushes, but I'm not really blending. I'm just kind of controlling washes. So you could call it two-brush blending, I guess. But it's by the actual technical application of two-brush blending and what that's trying to accomplish. It is kind of, but not. So let's put some of our ashes and embers. I imagine no matter where Vader goes, flame follows. You know, he's got his own theme music, so I can only imagine, like, if he could, he'd just have flames go wherever he is. Let's accentuate those folds one more time. Maybe even that fold. Not technically, but I think it's just going to look a little cooler. Maybe a real subtle one way out here. Get back to that bright yellow. There's something like that. So that feels pretty good. I want some red ink now. Double vision, paint the shoulder, upper arm, shin, and upper back. Yeah, you could do all kinds of fun stuff. I'm trying to limit what I do. Because I don't have a lot of time. So let's thin this red ink down with some water. We're going to blend glaze that out. Really stretch that ink out over the surface areas. And because we kicked up that orange and those bright yellows, use that red glaze. And it ties it all down into red. But it gives you some nice bright colors as well. This is very, very thin. See, now that it feels less yellow. I like stylization. I don't go for realism. So, like, maybe I'll keep it a little more yellow than it should be. That's okay. Like I said, rule of cool. The rule of cool. Is this perfect? Is this like the perfect example of OSL? Absolutely not. But what it is quick, and it'll look really awesome on the table. And that's all that matters to me, is when I go to the game store and I throw down against my friends, I can be like, oh, look at this Vader, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, and I'll be like, yeah, thanks. Is it artistically accurate? Nah. But that's okay. Does it look cool on the table? Heck yeah. Yeah, it's true. Distract them long enough to crush them. That's what I'm about. That's me in a nutshell. I'm all about just coming in and crushing. You can go back with a little dark red. Tighten up that line. Maybe I want to come back. Maybe I want to throw some more of that little bright specks. I love the bright specks. It's a lot of fun. Alright, stream, how's it look? How's it feeling? Tell you what, if you've seen me paint anything else this weekend, you saw it on stream, it's as far as I got. It's been busy, so not gotten much farther on any of the projects. Feels pretty good. Let's play him against this one. This one definitely is a little more orange. Let's kick it up. Let's go again. One more time. Play it again, Sam. Yeah, it's not too crazy, Stacy. 82. It's real subtle. It's real simple, and that's what I like. Is I really enjoy finding like quick ways to do stuff. I'm a craftsman, not an artist. So like anything I can do to make stuff faster, I'm here for it, and I'm all about it. So. Cheesy Game says, just got work, so finally picking up the brush. Glad you're picking up the brush this fine Saturday evening. Everybody should be hanging out and paint with us. That's what we're here to do this weekend. Hang out, just paint some minis. Do the paint jams. I do love a good paint jam. Try to jam 2 times a week. Alright. I think we could go one more time on that headpiece too. I think we're got 15 minutes. There's one a little more red up there. Maybe here. I'm literally just making up where I want the red. It doesn't really matter, like I said. There we go. Now we got the glows. Out of view. Sorry. Let's get more orange on that. Those orange flecks. I should go back and add to the bottom of the glove and the boot too. We may do that later. I was going to paint that saber. We got time. What do I do with all these multiple copies of characters? I paint them and I love them. That's what I do. I'm all about like it's cool and I love them. Why not start with gray, highlight a white, and then glaze red over it? In the Mini Wizard says red is very transparent, so the reflection would be too intense for something to come off black. It's for me. It's the stylization, and I wanted to. I want to use that bright yellow because it's more saturated. Gray is a very desaturated color, and I want saturation. I want punch. I want pop. I want zing. So it's all about starting with those yellows and oranges for me. This is right next to his head. So you gotta be super careful. Slide that brush in there. So yeah, orange and yellows, you glaze over with the red, you get a much better effect. So that's a base coat. Yeah, and gray, if you just glaze red over gray, it does tend to end up pink. Gray is very white. It has no color. You want some color in there. Do I try swapping them out for different battles? This Vader is display only. This set's in a case, a special display case, and this is for play. If I got multiples, I just pick. It's just like when I go to play a game. I don't typically have a list in mind. I just grab miniatures and I play what I want that day. Yeah, red. Well, this isn't meant to be the red from the saber. I'm showing some like bounce light, and like I need to go back and finish that up. That was just a fun thing. Let's paint the saber. I want to do some little dots here in the center. I'm going to pick like my famous angle. I'm going to put some little dots, and I'm going to drag. This is like a yellow orange. Drag down toward that center. This is definitely all about really cool. I'm making like a little art guy. Let's put a little sunburst in the middle. Let's go up to that tip. Make sure. Maybe around the emitter we'll do the same thing. Line's a little thick. Use that second brush to clean it up. See if we can get some white in there. So white and yellow and orange mixed together here. Yeah, I like blue tones on Vader, especially when you're like doing OSL. Red and blue are those colors that work so well together, complementary colors. So like kind of kicking those together really goes a long way. And I knew I was going to do OSL on this guy, so I painted him all up. I did the blue tones. Have I tried this on a light side here with a lighter lightsaber? No, I have not painted the light side here. Oh, yeah, that's not true. I do have a Luke Skywalker. I painted up. I did not do the OSL as much. I did a much more subtle OSL because it's the Snowspeeder Luke, and so I didn't want to. I was imagining him out in the open, so there's less light, or there's more light, so OSL doesn't travel as much. Whereas Vader just looks cool with black. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. And I need red ink again. Some more red ink. Little couple drops. Hopefully everybody can see that pretty good. Let me make sure we're focused in there really well. Yeah, hopefully you can see that pretty good. Yeah, this light here and this light doesn't make sense with the saber, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to win an award. I'm just trying to make something look neat. Stacy A2, when you say ink, that's a different product than your paint. Yes. Inks are, I use a lot of artist inks. Scale 75 makes a bunch of inks. So you can see here, let's show the difference between ink and paint. So like ink is very, very thin and translucent, but it has more pigment than just opaque paint, right? Opaque paint is very thick, and you want paint to be thick because it's easier to thin paint than it is to thick paint. So I want some like nice, I just want some nice thick paint for painting, but then inks are real thin, but they got a lot of pigment, so they got a lot of punch. Tim DeVos Davis, do you pick one angle for the saber highlights? Yeah, I tend to pick like just where I think the coolest angle is. Wash, I know washes are things you can buy, but typically I like to remind everybody, washes are a technique, not necessarily a thing. I know you can buy washes. Absolutely, you can buy a wash. But any paint can be a wash. That's why I say it's a technique. Washes are designed, and the intent, the technique of a wash, is to go over a surface or element, recede into the cracks and stay there, and pull from or recede from the upper areas and collect in the crevices, and that gives you contrast. So anything is a wash. You can do a wash with an ink. The stuff you buy, like a bottle wash, is great to start out with. I use them, but I also just make a bunch of my own inks or washes. Inks are just really thin paints, so you can use them to glaze, you can use them to make a wash, you can do all kinds of stuff. They're just really, really pigmented. That needs to dry. But I think we're basically done with our Vader. What else do you want to see? We've got 4 minutes. I'm surprised I'm not getting the little Dallas, you're going to go over notifications. I've never had paint spill on my table. Is that a thing? I don't spill paints. Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye. I know the time. I'm going to do a little more of these dots because I think they look bloody cool. What colors would you use for a purple OSL like Mace Wonder Saber? Purple, magenta, pink. I'd probably start with a pink. Pink is a great place to start for purple. You lay that pink in like we did with the orange and yellow here, and then you start building that in with some purples, magentas, stuff like that. Yeah, glaze it down to a purple. Oh yeah, my thumb are out. You should have seen it before I cleaned it earlier. Woof, it was rough. Let's highlight that ridge one more time because that ridge would catch a lot of light. You know, the sharp edges catch a lot of light. Little dot of white there. But sure, I'm totally happy to just go over and not have a break in between. Yeah, that's not the way it works. We gotta go to the. We got the back end stuff to do. Sorry. Let's see how this looks. Let's see. This one I spent hours and hours on. This one I spent 45 minutes on. I feel it looks pretty good. It's not as tight and precise, but I still love it, and that's all that matters. This one's for the game table. This one's for the game table. Needs a little more red on the forehead, I think. There we go. Okay, we got 1 minute left. I think I'm done with my object source lighting. What do you think, chat? Let me know what you think. Hopefully you found that informative, and maybe the next time I see you on the game table, you'll have your lightsaber all gussied up the way this one is. Join me. We got 2 more panels left in the day 2 or day 3. Boy, oh boy, what a week it's been. The day in day 3 of the Mini-stravaganza, we've got 2 more panels. We've got the Schick, Luke, Michael Plummer for Star Wars Legion New Fronts at 5 p.m. So that's going to be in 15 minutes. And then we're going to finish off with the Schick and Simone Elliott and the Mini-stravaganza closing ceremonies. That's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned to that. And also don't forget, if you're hanging around and you got nothing better to do, you should join us for the after party. Did I say the after party? The after party. Come to the after party after the closing ceremonies. So it's unofficial. It's not really part of it, but it's going to have a lot of people from the past couple of days joining in and chatting, doing some hobby together, and just answering questions and just having a good time. So you should join and check that out. So stick around 15 minutes. Star Wars New Fronts. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys. Dun 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 dun.